Hey guys, Bix Weir, roadtoroota.com. Your morning horn of Z's, although have no coffee this morning. Got to a little late start, had to run around, so nothing. I do want to talk about something very interesting and very exciting and very hysterical. So at the beginning of any new technological breakthrough, I mean like big breakthroughs, you always have the old school people coming out and saying, oh, this will never work, this is ridiculous. And when they get recorded or when you read the writings of the time before at the very beginning, it is just absolutely comical. I think that's exactly what's going on today with the Bitcoin haters and the crypto haters. They just don't understand. They just don't get it. All these smart people that we relied upon for gold and silver and monetary advice and stock advice are completely clueless about what's going on and what's happening. So what I did is I went to an old, and I remembered this, I called it the Katie Couric syndrome. And in my mind, it's one of those Mandela effect things. In my mind, I recall that Katie Couric in the beginning of the World Wide Web, when the internet was just introduced to humanity, to most of humanity. The military had it for a long time, and the government people and universities had it, but it wasn't until 1990 that the World Wide Web was introduced and the internet began to spread out throughout the population. So there was a classic interview on the Today Show with Katie Couric, and all I remember is Katie Couric saying either what in the world is the internet, and had to ask her producer, or she said email, you send mail through wires. So I did a little Google search on it, and apparently NBC tried to hide it, and they actually fired the person that released it, the footage. So, but you can find the footage out there now. Just type in Katie Couric internet, and you're going to see this hysterical discussion between the three hosts. Brian Gumbel was actually the guy who said all the stupid things. And I always thought it was Katie Couric. That's where the Mandela effect comes in for me, because I always remember it was Katie Couric that's saying, what's the internet? But Katie says, Brian Gumbel's talking about the at symbol, XYZ at ge.com or whatever it was, and Katie Couric says, no, it's not at, it's about, or it's a circle around an A. It is the funniest thing you'll ever see. And knowing what we know now, you go back and watch this and say, oh my God, how can these people be so clueless? And this was in 1994, 4 years after the World Wide Web was introduced. And within 5 years of that, the whole world was on the World Wide Web. The whole world was accessing internet. All business was starting to be done over the internet. And now, look at it, mass adoption. Everybody is involved with the internet in some way or another. And that's the way technology goes. But in the early days, people were clueless. And the beauty of today is that we have people giving interviews about why blockchain and cryptocurrencies are the stupidest things ever invented. These are going to be the Katie Couric syndrome moments. And we're going to look back 5 years from now at Peter Schiff or Hugo Salinas Price or Jim Holter, Chris Duane, and say, oh my God, how could these people be so clueless? These were the people we trusted before the blockchain technology changed everything. And they just couldn't get it up because they don't understand it. They really don't get it. It's very much like Katie Couric and Brian Gumbel talking about the internet after 4 years of being around. All kinds of people were already using it, and they're saying, what is this thing called the internet? So that's something that I look forward to watching in the days, weeks, months, and years to come. Come 2005 or 2020, 2025, we're just going to laugh our butts off at these early people saying, oh, this is a computer? What's that? We don't need a computer. We have the U.S. mail. It's going to be a cryptocurrency. Why would we need a cryptocurrency? We have unbacked fiat money that our government issues. The government would never give up control of that. Classics. It's just classics. Now, I'm going to save and archive some of these old videos, videos that are going on just today. And I got to talk to my friend Kerry Lutz because I heard his latest. And I'm like, Kerry, you still don't get it after all these months or a couple of years of being involved and interviewing people who are on the leading edge of understanding how the world is changing. And Kerry still doesn't get it. He still doesn't, oh, these crazy crypto stuff. He thinks they're all frauds. Come on, Kerry, we got to talk again, and I'll slowly walk you through it. Like Katie Couric was walked through. She had to call her, what was it? I call it her handler, some girl named Allison on the back end of a phone, say, what is this thing, the internet? So unless you guys spend some time, figure it out. I mean, you read the postings of Hugo Salinas Price and Bill Holter about why they don't like cryptocurrencies, why they don't like the blockchain. And it oozes of misunderstanding and complete unknown about what they're even talking about. It is amazing. They need to dig into the code. They need to dig into what is driving this, because you know what it is? It's a solution to the problem that they've been trying to fix for decades. The unbacked fiat monetary system. Gold and silver are not the answer. They can't kill off the banksters. We've been trying to do that for over 100 years, and it has not worked. The cryptocurrencies and blockchain technologies is the answer, because it gives us a tool to move forward. With gold and silver, you got to crush everything in the past, and then you have nowhere to go. Absolutely nowhere to go. The economy would collapse and everything would collapse. No, people wouldn't use gold and silver as money because nobody even remembers that gold and silver used to be money. The majority of humanity, it's been drilled out of their heads probably since at least 1971, but even in 71, because gold was illegal in the United States to own and use as money, nobody even knew it was money. Nobody even knew what was going on behind the scenes, backing with Bretton Woods and all that. And so gold as money has been driven out of the conscious of at least the United States, probably most of the world. India still sees it as a whole of value. There's nothing wrong with gold as a store of value. I would question how much gold there is because nobody really knows. If you believe the mainstream statistics, that came from GMFS in the 1960s. Thanks to Jeffrey Christian, who gave up that ghost a little while ago. It was GMFS that invented the statistics that everybody bases their gold data on today. And GMFS was controlled and run by Harry Oppenheimer of the De Beers family. Oppenheimer, De Beers Diamonds, the Diamond Cartel, who does exactly the opposite, says there's or the same thing. I mean, they owned all the diamonds, so they'd say, oh, diamonds are extremely rare, not counting the billions of diamonds that are in this meteor hole in Russia that were found, and no one's allowed to go there either. But that's the insane thing, is that these numbers are fake. The official numbers are fake. Nobody knows how much gold there is. And someday there'll be a lot more gold on the market than you know of. It will go up massively in price because gold is not the problem. The problem is the unbacked fiat money and the perverted spin-offs, like derivatives. That's money. Everything is money that is completely, it's all fraud. We all know that, but it's traded back and forth in the markets on electronic high-frequency trades. These trades are not real trades. There's no contract settlement. There's no money exchange. It just goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth to fix the prices. And that's how they rig the markets. That's why gold and silver are not allowed to go up, because they trade electronic trades over. Jeffrey Christian said it was 100 times the underlying physical for gold. No, it's, if you do the numbers and you take the total volume of the COMEX and the LBMA, it's well over 300 times the amount of physical, at least in silver, amount of physical silver that is on planet Earth, not in the COMEX storage areas, but on planet Earth. So if you look at just the availability of COMEX physical silver to pull out of the COMEX warehouses, you're talking 2,000, 3,000 to 1 compared to the amount of trades, the total volume every year, total volume. That's how prices are set. It's not the end of the day, where their position is at the end of each day. Ted Butler likes to use that number because he's sticking to facts and verification. But the verification that he's sticking to has nothing to do with the price. That's when the markets are closed. At the end of the day, everybody tallies where they are. That doesn't change price. What changes price is the daily movement. Any day, 1 ounce of silver can be sold, and the price of silver can go to $10,000 an ounce. All it takes is 1 ounce. It would change the whole dynamic of what the market cap of silver is, because all it takes is one trade, and then it's spread. We see it in the cryptocurrencies all the time, and on the stock market all the time. The value of a company, the market cap, is the last trade. The last trade of silver. If silver, all of a sudden everybody holds on to their silver, and 1 ounce is sold as $1,000 an ounce, then the new market cap of silver is all that silver times 1,000. If it was sold for 1,000, 1 ounce was sold for 1,000, but that was the last trade, then the entire market cap of silver is 1,000. Same with Bitcoin, same with the stock market, same with all of them. It's how market cap is calculated. The current trading price times the total volume. That's the market cap. So no, it doesn't take $500 billion to make the Bitcoin go to a $500 billion market cap. It takes one Bitcoin trading at a lot higher number than in what it is right now. Anyway, but yeah, so I'm looking overall. I think everybody needs to get their head around that the world is changing. Technology is moving on. The cryptocurrencies and the blockchain is a gigantic invention. It is going to free mankind from these criminal banksters. And until you get your hands around it and your head around it, I wouldn't talk about it much. The guys who are talking about it are going to be laughed at in their Katie Couric syndrome come the next 5 or 10 years. And we're going to look back on these old videos and say, oh my God, I can't believe they said what they said about the cryptocurrencies. And too bad they did, because they're missing out on a chance of a lifetime. It's a chance of a lifetime. Yeah, get in, hold. We're about at the latest low, ready for another crocodile tooth to run up. Jump in with both feet, or take a little nibble and get your feet wet, because it takes a few of these slams to get you really comfortable. I've been through a lot of them. I'm very comfortable with the cryptocurrencies. I know they're going to be massively volatile. They're going to go up 100% and down 1,000% and up 100%. But the trend is like this because it is the future. It is changing the future. And the old system, when the old system really starts to break down, the banks go down again, we're going to thank our stars that there's the cryptocurrencies are out there, so that we don't have to destroy everything we've built so far. We can just transfer over and go down a new path, down a high-tech world using Bitcoin, Litecoin, a handful of the cryptocurrencies, and a handful of the businesses, blockchain businesses and tokens. More and more will be developed. There's Cliff High's new report coming out, I think, in a week or so. With even more companies that are being developed, and I don't know if they'll ICO or not, but they're being developed on blockchain technology. Very exciting stuff. It is cutting edge, and you're in the early 1990s of the World Wide Web with the cryptos. We're still less than 1% of the population even knows about Bitcoin, and I think next year maybe it'll be 2 or 3%, and then 10 years down the line, everybody will be using it, and the old system will be gone. So that's what we have to look forward to. This is Bix Weir, roadtoroad.com. I'll be sending out the Friday road trip tomorrow morning. Lots of juicy stuff in there. It's all written this time. It's not a video. And we will talk to you later. If you're interested, go to roadtoroad.com and sign up.